Hi.
Hi.
Just like a little fuck it up with adding unknowns. I hope people had time to read it. Let's wait for a few more minutes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So let's have a start. Welcome everyone on our bi-weekly community meeting of Cozystack developers. Today we have something interesting to show you about the features we're developing right now. We probably don't have anyone new on this meeting. I'll repeat that we have Telegram group. If you have some questions, feel free to ask them. We will help you. And we have Slack channel in official Kubernetes Slack. Let's switch to our agenda. We have 3 topics today. And we can start with VPC overview. Nikita, do we ready to start?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I can give you a screen share if you want to.
I will need this.
And please go ahead.
Can you see the dashboard?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So talking about VPCs, I will make a quick demo about how VPCs look like, how they are working under the hood. And we will spawn a couple of virtual machines, and I will show how VPCs look from inside the virtual machine. So I had some VPCs set up already, just not to take too much time. But I will show how creation of VPC looks like. So it is here, a VPC. You can create a VPC and the number of subnets inside it. Docs are I just wrote docs about that, and they will be merged, I think, tomorrow. So let's see. First of all, you have to create a name, and the name should be unique within a tenant. I'm currently in a tenant user 0 tenant. So let's create something like VPC 01. And I will add a couple of subnets here. It is not perfect, the UI, I mean. So, one more. And then we specify IP ranges. I will use something like this. And here. So those IP ranges must be unique within a VPC, but it can, so the VPCs can have subnets with overlapping IP ranges if for some reason you need it. Okay, so that's it. I click submit. And actually, we don't see many things in the details, but we are working on displaying more details about VPCs and subnets here. So let's take a look how it looks like the console and under the hood. So the VPC is created, that's okay. So I need to reshare my screen, 1 second. You see the console?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, nice. So under the hood, VPCs are made of kubeoven and kubeoven object, as I may say, so a virtual router. So let's see how it looks. I will just paste some commands and talk to my cluster. So logical routers list. Let's see logical routers in the cluster. It will take some time because it performs exec into a pod, and we have to wait for a couple of seconds. So each VPC we see here, this is the default one. This is the one I previously created, or I believe it is. So here are our logical routers, and we can see logical router ports. For example, let's see for this one. So each subnet will be plugged in a router port, and for this one VPC, we should see like two, like we created. So we had two subnets and 2 ports. For example, we can take a look at this one, and there we will have 3 ports because there are 3 subnets in those VPC. And each VPC is a logical switch. So let's see logical switches, how they look like. Logical switch list. It will also take some time. So here are logical switches. And for example, we can see this one is empty, I believe, because there is nothing in the subnet. But we can check this one because there are a couple of virtual machines already there, just to give you an overview how it looks. Logical switch port list. And we need the logical switch ID. Just a couple more seconds. Oops. Wrong UUID. So have I copied? Oh, I copied the wrong ID. Let me see. There's the router ports, and here are subnets. This one. Actually, we see that there are 2 ports in this switch, and one belongs to a virtual machine with name VM0. So maybe one more thing. By default, subnets are created with an ACL, which isolates those subnets from each other. So when we have a couple of subnets within a VPC, they cannot talk to each other. I can show you how it looks like. It was like ACL list or something. And I believe this. Another couple seconds. So we can see that we have inbound allowed traffic from our subnet. This one is the default one, and it is named as join subnet. And from here, our kubelets and stuff talk to pods in the subnets. And then other traffic is dropped. So let's create a virtual machine. I just will give a quick overview on how it looks like. One more minute. So let's see, virtual machines. So I need to check the subnet ID. Just 1 second. I will switch to my console. So I can VPC also. It is a cluster level entity, and I need subnets. This one is our newly created VPC, and I'll take the one subnet ID just for a demo purpose. So I'll copy it. And now we will create a virtual machine attached to the subnet. Okay, so a new virtual machine, some name, leave all the defaults as is, and here we can paste the subnet ID. Here we have it in our spec. I will not specify anything, just I will show that it runs. We can connect to the instances that are already running on my cluster. So submit. And it is running, I think. Okay, install succeeded. Awesome. So now I will show you how this VMs looks. We'll take a look on how VPCs and subnet look from inside the virtual machine. And I will connect to this one. This one, I'm not sure if you will see it here, but it is connected to different subnets. Yes, so we have 2 subnets here in the spec. So I need to switch back to my console, I believe. 1 second. Here. I am connecting to localhost because I have a weird tunnel set up, but believe me, it will connect to the instance. Here is its name. So first we will check IP links, and we have first interface is the default one. And we also have 2 interfaces which represent connection to each subnet. And then we will see IP addresses. So here we see an address for the first interface, which is the default one from default subnet. And here we see IP address from the another subnet, secondary, and from the third secondary subnet. And we can, I believe, ping the virtual machine second one, which has an IP of 0.5. Let's see. 0.5. Yes, and we can ping it. So that's almost it. Just a quick overview on how it works, how it looks like.
Looks so cool. Thank you for the demo. Could you please also show how the pod look like?
Pod of the virtual machine, you mean?
Yeah.
1 second. We have a huge amount of annotations there, which are put there by operators. Let me see. So here's our virtual machine. Okay, so let's start from the top. And here we have a huge annotation with network status, which describes everything from the networking side happening inside the machine. So here we see our main interface with the main IP address. And here we see first subnet and the second one. And there is a huge amount of status for subnets, for the second, for the third subnet, including logical switch name, logical router name, IP addresses, and stuff. So the virtual machine, it looks like that. And for a regular pod, we will only see an annotation. We don't have this annotation here because that's a virtual machine. It's a bit specific. But this thing, network status, we will have on each workload, which is attached to different networks.
This seems managed by Multus. It could also show kubectl get IP. I think kubeovn should show the status of the IP addresses allocated.
Let's see.
Yeah, here are they in the middle of screen.
Oh yeah, I can see. Oh yeah, here they are.
So we have integrated IP addresses management and MAC addresses management, and also, I guess, OVN handles DHCP for providing these IP addresses to virtual machines.
Yep. Yeah, I
No
might
external
show you
configuration
Multus
needed.
config. Yeah, we just can specify inside the Multus config which provider to use for those secondary subnets. And we can specify, for example, bridge or something what we like. And I just specified that kubeovn processes all those things because kubeovn manages those VPCs and subnets. And kubeovn manages those IP addresses and MAC addresses just like in the default subnet.
So cool. One more question. Can subnet ranges overlap with each other?
Within one VPC, no. Within different VPCs, yes. Currently,
Okay.
there are no checks on our side, but there is a check on OVS side, so it will fail in the middle of deployment if you will create subnets with overlapping IP ranges. But I think in the future releases, we will make some checks on the dashboard side.
Thank you. And what is left? I think the UI interface for this, we are currently working on adding additional entities to show those created subnets and their IDs in the dashboard. Do not force user go to the console.
Yeah, that's true.
Many thanks for this demo. It is quite full. I really like it. Okay. Do we have any questions regarding this feature?
Yes. Hi, guys. What or which is the subnets working on the hood? Which technology? I mean, we use kubeovn, but on the hood, how works this?
So we use kubeovn, and by default, it has a default VPC and a default subnet, which is the subnet for where the pods take IP addresses from. And those subnets and VPCs that I create are just an additional VPCs and subnets. They are implemented by kubeoven, and they are not default VPCs and subnets. They're a bit special because they don't support every feature that the default VPC has, such as distributed gateways and stuff. But they are similar from the logic point of view to what we have in kubeoven by default.
Yeah, I guess under the hood it uses OVN uses OpenVSwitch and GNIF protocol for the encapsulating traffic into the tunnels. We have the next question from Yevgen.
Yeah, okay. So my question is, so do we have now already gateways for this? So machines can have access to the some logical router, or it will be in future?
Currently, the setup is that every workload we run in 2 or more subnets needs a connection to default subnet, to a management subnet. And this default subnet will have a gateway, and the most amount of traffic will go through the management subnet for now. But in future, we will implement gateways and load balancing, proper load balancing, so that you will have a proper VPCs like you have it in clouds. So you can isolate your workloads from management subnet overall. But it is planned in future release because there are lots of things to think about, like first of all, performance. First of all, performance.
Okay, yeah, that's why. Because I'm also tracking the Cozystack, and I always had a question. That next question that we have now is Cilium and Metal B and KubeVN and Multus, and all this like do something in kernel, and this can increase the number of copying the packets between different sites. So do these affects already, or what do you think? Maybe you will stick that KubeVN will be more universal, and you could remove Cilium, and so we could have all functionality with KubeVN only, because I only from performance standpoint that. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I get it. A few words about Multus. It actually doesn't act like a CNI. The only thing it does, it just proxies requests to a CNI to a different CNIs. So when you have a pod created, usually you have one request to CNI just to allocate IP addresses and stuff. And Multus can make those one request to 2 requests, and then to another CNI, so the CNI could handle the pod creation or something like that.
I think
regarding performance, yes?
Yeah, I think the performance question was not about the requests to the Kubernetes API, but more about data path. And
Yeah, I am just talking about Multus. So it is clear that it is not impacting performance in any way. So regarding kubeoven, it actually uses those VPCs and subnets use the same data path techniques as MSA as regular subnet in Kubernetes. I mean, in Kubernetes, in Cozystack, in kubeoven. So there are not many differences in performance. And if you talk about the overall subnet design in Cozystack, when we have kubeoven and we have network policies with Cilium and GNIF as encapsulation, yes, it is a bit complicated. And we have some performance, maybe troubles, maybe issues. It is not critical, but there is a way for improvement for sure.
Okay, thanks for the answer. Yeah, it's thank you, and let's wait for the development, because we actually wait all of that because it's important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, talking from my perspective, I would rather get rid of kubeoven after we could implement all the functionality in Cilium and some simpler CNI mechanics. Especially, I like Cilium, but unfortunately, it doesn't work very well with organizing multi-network design like kubeOVN does. So for now, we use kubeOVN as data plane for traffic, and Cilium more for network policies and for kube proxy replacement. In some setups, we don't use kubeOVN, but unfortunately, for now, this is it has a lot of features needed for, especially for virtual machines, which Cilium does not have yet. I think in the future, we will have more human power to implement this functionality into Cilium. Maybe we will contribute to upstream. Maybe upstream will implement the same functionality, because as far as we see, the virtual machines in Kubernetes become more popular, and I think Cilium will be more acceptable to use this functionality in Cilium as well. But
Yeah,
who knows? Yeah,
I would like to add you that there is, the trend that Cilium is now commercial, and anytime they can simply close. That's but I think kubeOVN could not have this situation probably, and because Cilium, as Cisco already pushing the Cilium support and all and different feature set.
In opposite way, I can say that kubeOVN also have quite big adopters. Let's say Canonical use kubeOVN, and also OpenSUSE Rancher joined to the kubeOVN community. So I think this project will also grow quite fast. Red Hat use OVN Kubernetes. They have their own implementation of the OVN plugin, TNI plugin. But still, I think kubeOVN is the first project which implements OVN for Kubernetes. And I think the amount of adopters will grow.
And one more thing, I think kubeOVN is a CNCF project already.
Yeah, they both. It get joined to CNCF earlier than OVN Kubernetes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right then. Not sure if I'm still sharing my screen. Yeah, I guess yes.
Yeah, you're sharing it. It's here.
The next topic is new external applications demo. We still working on make Cozystack to be more likely framework, and we want to provide the opportunity to bring your custom repositories with your own custom applications. We had this functionality previously; it wasn't working very well. Now it works a little bit better. I just updated the example applications repository, and I want to demonstrate how it works. The documentation page you can find in Managed Applications External Apps. This documentation page explains how can you create your own custom repositories for Cozystack, and how can you join them into Cozystack to enable your users to provision your own applications. So the logic here is quite similar to what we have here in development guide. We have a repository Cozystack. In here, you can see the packages. And here we have standard core, system, and apps. Core usually holds all the components needed for configure the platform itself. The system includes singular applications like operators for operating user applications, and apps directory includes the user applications like which they can see in the dashboard or API. So they define this specific Helm charts to let users configure and deploy some applications. In this example repository, we have quite similar structure. So we have packages. In core, we have single application platform, which holds just few resources, actually. Cozystack resource definition, which defines the spec of the custom application, in our case, MongoDB. It has some options for the dashboard, for example, SVG icon, the category where it should be put, and names for the Kubernetes resources in Kubernetes API. As well, the definition for Helm releases, where it will be mapped to, and OpenAPI spec, which will be used to generate OpenAPI spec for this resource. So actually, by creating this Cozystack resource definition, you will define new API object for MongoDBs in Cozystack, and it will be working just in flight. You don't need to install any custom resource definitions and write controllers and recompile Go binaries. So the idea is the following. First, you have core platform templates where you have Helm releases, which can also install MongoDB operator, the system component for managing MongoDB applications, MongoDB apps, and actually namespace for it. This core platform chart can be installed simple with this example. So first you need to do is to add your own Git repository into Cozystack. We add it to Cozy public namespace, and also create Helm release, which will deploy this core platform Helm release. And after that, it will install also system application from here, MongoDB operator, as usual in from the Cozystack source code. Also, apps directory includes MongoDB application. For now, it is just Doom application, which calls some values, the amount of members and name. It has JSON spec, README file, and in templates it can have actually MongoDB resource, but for now it just deploys the config map. Let's see how it works. I'll open Cozystack dashboard. I'll log it in. As you can see here, we have no MongoDB in marketplace as well. Or wait. Yeah, I already have MongoDB in sidebar, but actually that's just artifact because that my dev cluster, and I forgot to remove it. It will appear a bit later after we install these resources. Now let's switch to the console. Here. I will deploy these two releases, these two resources, Git repository and Helm release. And let's see what happens. Yeah, I forgot to say that in API resources, we already have some Mongo. No, we have no MongoDB resources. This one is last from my last attempt to use MongoDB operator, but this is wrong one. First, we create Git repository and Helm release. It should appear in Cozy system namespace. It will deploy everything neat from the templates directory. And now I can see that my dashboard already get updated, and new MongoDB application just appeared here. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yep.
So we have new MongoDB application appeared, and the new pass service here. So we can create some MongoDB. Let me me just refresh the page. I think it's not fully loaded yet. And something go wrong. Well, now I can see that. You'll see the same editor like before. You can deploy MongoDB. It will create actually a resource kind MongoDB in apps Cozystack IO. As you can see, this kind is not existing in vanilla Cozystack cluster. Now let's see how it works inside of the my console. So we have API resources created for MongoDB. So we can query MongoDBs. And here is my MongoDB deployed. We can also check Helm releases, my tenant namespace. And we'll see MongoDB, this one. And actually it should have config map. I guess this one, which holds all the parameters. So this way you can define your own applications. All you need to do is to place operator which manage business logic for deploying your applications into system, place user-specific application into apps, and configure repository in core. Then you can connect it using these two YAML files, and users will see the new applications appeared in Marketplace, and they'll be able to order them. For now, this opportunity is available only to Cozystack administrators. So we have some issues with role-based access control. We are working on moving it into the system level. So ordinary user will also able to use these kind of external applications. But administrators can also already deploy new applications. That's actually it. Do we have any questions regarding this functionality?
Yeah, sure, I do. I'm not sure what you meant by the issues with the role-based access control, because clearly only Cozystack administrators should be able to define new applications. Unless, of course, you mean, yeah. I guess you mean that we need some way to give users access to deploy the applications that are defined by Cozystack administrators.
Yeah, for now they have no such opportunity because the main reason for this, we have dedicated tenant application, which also deploys the roles for every particular application.
Yeah, I understand. But I think this is quite easy to solve with the role aggregation feature of Kubernetes. So you can, so the Cozystack administrators, they can create a new role which will be aggregated to existing Cozystack roles that will cover the new API type. Yeah, now another thing that I noticed is that unlike all of our existing Cozystack resource definitions, which reference a Helm repository, this one references a Git repository.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so in our code base, we have a lot of logic that uses the chart name and the Helm repository name as a key in a map. but now we also have a different kind. So previously, the logic in our code base assumed that all the Cozystack resource definitions use a Helm repository, which is in Cozy public namespace, I think. And they just select a Helm chart from there by name. But now we will have to adjust this logic to also check the source ref kind and that kind of thing.
This is very good point. Thank you for mentioning this. One more thing which I can also mention here, that since the last release, we start having all the Helm releases in the specific version of the platform. The interesting point here, if you use external repository, it will have version measured from the Git repository. Just for example, this MongoDB have version 001 and this hash commit hash from the Git repository. All
Yeah,
right.
to be honest, I think it's something that will require a lot of documentation. And the example that you showed is just one way of organizing things. I mean, the main thing is that you have some sort of Helm chart and you create a Cozystack resource definition. How exactly you do it is up to you, but there's one way that we suggest with having this kind of example Git repository.
Yeah. That's about the zones of responsibility. We can't force everyone to use exactly this scheme. It's like propose it him, how can you organize the repository? Who was trying that before there were different logic of using customized objects. Today I've updated it to use only Helm releases to not extend cognitive load on engineers, because for now we work mostly just with Helm releases. We don't need to have customized here.
Yeah, I'd also like to mention, we didn't have time to mention this at the last community meetup, but we have a contributor, I don't remember his name, but just his GitHub handle, Insignia96, who recently contributed the Foundation DB app to Cozystack. It isn't released yet, it's only merged into main. But yeah, if you search through the already merged pull requests, not just the open ones. Yeah. The one at the bottom. This is just my fix, although it might also be useful to reference. But the one at the bottom, yeah. So this essentially is another example how you can add custom applications to Cozystack. It is a bit more involved because it compiles them directly into the Cozystack asset server. But I think it's also quite instructive as to how you can customize your own installation of Cozystack.
Yeah, previously that was the only option to bring your own application in tree. And for now, we start working on adding opportunity to manage your application out tree. Here also good example, how can you write tests for testing the application after during the release process. Yeah, many thanks for this community contribution. And I think next release of Cozystack will include Foundation DB as well. All right, then 15 minutes left. We have also one more change. We use generators for generating OpenAPI spec, and originally we were using our own customized syntax for generate this README page. and this file values schema. And this syntax was developed by us, but after in a while we found that there is quite similar syntaxes for this, and it's called JSDoc. It's mainly used for defining JSON types and have specific comments in the code, so you can specify parameters and specific types right in code through the type def. So we updated our tool, cozyvalues-gen. To support similar syntax in this tool. We slightly changed the name of the parameters because in Go world, it's quite similar. It's quite common to use struct instead of object and field instead of parameter. So we implemented this syntax in cozyvalues-gen and updated all the applications inside of the Cozystack source base. New syntax is available from version 1.0. And now it will generate updated docs for all the applications. And I hope more stable spec for Kubernetes.
Eugen, please go ahead.
Okay, actually, I would like to return to previous team because I would like to add that what I understand that if you begin to add a lot of code from external person and you don't know what it is, it could look like in the future like supply chain attack. So, and also you need to think that because like the case with SSH plugin in this year. So this is, you know, such a maybe old morning, but you need to think how to verify, or if some big application is added that it could not do something inside of cluster. That's my point.
That's yeah, that's a valid point, and I'm not going to pretend that we are more rigorous about it than is the case in reality. And I know that 11,000 lines of new code is quite scary, but thankfully a lot of this code is vendored from upstream. That's just the way it is, that we have to pull a vendor in the custom resource definitions and upstream things such as the foundation DB operator and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
actually, you can see that. Sorry,
okay,
please go ahead.
Okay, I would like to. I think that you need at least to know who's committer, what is the person, or at least the IP address.
I think we don't really need it because every external contribution has code review, and we're checking all the parameters here and where the code is borrowed. Actually, from this pull request, we can see that this code is taken from the official Foundation DB Kubernetes operator. And the code from here is actually just downloaded from the upstream repository and vendor it in our repository. We check all the lines actually to be sure that we can support it, that it has no any exploits, and that this code can be simply upgraded in the future releases.
Yeah, this is actually one of the best things, that a single make update command pulls in all of this external code. If something changes when you make update, then that's a reason to be suspicious. And this helps reduce the verification to verifying the make update target.
Okay, but
so maybe okay, go
on. No, I would like simply confirm that what you said is okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's getting to be a big project with a lot of contributors, and supply chain attacks are a thing. I'm not pretending that this is not the case.
I just wanted to add that maybe we could think about some provenance or maybe some security practices that will give us an overview of a supply chain for new commits. I'm not sure if that is possible for Git, but it is possible for OCI images, for example. So you can include provenance there, so you can be sure where you take all the sources for your image.
That's a good point. I think we need to implement some security checks, automatic security scans for both for codes and the pushed images. But first we need to move all the images into our repository, I think. Or maybe no. We can actually deploy Trivi as part of pipeline. Not sure how much time it can take for collect the vulnerabilities for all the images, but I would start with implementing simple code scanner for all the vulnerabilities. I think there should be some not open source tools, but some projects which works as a service, like CodeRabbit, for example, and they can give open source projects free access to this. Even if they have no free access for usage, I think we can ask CNCF to sponsor our project for implementing these automatic security scans into our pipeline. If you know any tools for such scans, please feel free to post them. I think we need to think about that. That would be a good enhancement from the security perspective. I will add this topic. And do we have any other topics to discuss? Right, let's switch to pull requests review. Evgen?
Yeah, I actually would like to ask a question about new dashboard. So my point is that in earlier dashboard we could upgrade the Helm chart. So I opened the issue, but I understood that it has that I would try to update the storage for the vlogs generic. So this is volume which contains all logs for the monitoring once again. And in the previous dashboard, I could change parameters via form, same like you had already deployed. But now I didn't. In new dashboard, I could not find. I see the YAML, but I have no form with, and that probably I would ask it. Only I could not find that, or I doing something not the correct way.
I think this is, it looks like back. Actually, you can find monitoring application in modules.
Yes.
Let's try to edit it. And that's true. It seems that OpenAPI editor isn't working for some reason.
Yes.
That looks like a bug. Thank you for reporting it.
And then another thing is that when you try, I've posted it as this issue. I'm trying then edit the YAML, and it could not find the object, and that's why I opened that issue. I patched it directly using JSON patch, but I thought that you saw my issue because. But my issue was about that it could not find object, and but this is the same topic. Okay.
I think I see the problem here.
Yeah, because it tries to modify tenant module.
Yeah, yeah. And instead of apps Cozystack IO.
We need to shape a little bit this API. Thank you for reporting this. Have you created the issue already?
I've created issue, but on different topic about that. I could not. I tried that to do in this different way. So to edit directly YAML because it provides YAML form, and it could not do that. I changed the parameter, press the submit, and it tells me that yes.
Yeah, I got it.
But it's not in that form. But this is there is no parameters here. But when you go different way, you get HR. Yeah, correct YAML with all monitoring parameters, and I've edited the increases the storage and press submit, and it tells me that it couldn't find object, and that's why that issue is created.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You mean if you're editing the form here?
Yes.
We need to remove this button from here because I think it is not intended for editing YAML form right here. Yeah, thank you. We know about this issue. We will fix it in next release.
So you see that we lost both options. Earlier I could edit YAML here or edit the form, but now I couldn't edit YAML and I could not edit the via form.
The form editor usually opens from the tab view, from the table view, and it should be possible to edit it here. They can change some parameters.
Yeah, now it's correct. It's a form and was for that's but it's not working for monitoring.
Andrei, if you could maybe try to edit the address bar and change Kubernetes to monitorings, what would happen?
Here or where?
No, in the address bar of your browser.
Yeah, that will work. That will work. So I can, if you editing it here.
No, not here.
Switch.
Yeah, more or less.
Or to apps and tenant modules to monitorings. Now the form is available.
Yeah, we need a way to access the monitorings as monitorings and not just as tenant modules.
Yeah. That's probably need to update the dashboard itself.
Yeah, we just need to tweak the sidebar resource.
We will shape it a little bit later.
Yeah. This is very important, and I'm surprised that only I'm complaining about that. That nobody said anything in chat.
Well, we got some feedback about the new dashboard. Actually, this issue with editing in YAML tab was already reported. But this one, yeah, that's surprisingly that nobody else reported that yet. Well, I think we will fix it very soon.
One more thing, as we have 1 minute left, maybe we can take a quick look to open floor for the previous meeting, because we skipped that, and that is just 2 questions. I think we can answer that
about this
really fast. Yeah.
That's already spoken. And network policy management for VMs.
Yes, it is planned. And in fact, I plan to make time for this and get it finished during November.
Thank you.
Okay, I would like to add one more question. Okay, maybe I have a question. Maybe after you finish.
We almost finished. Please.
I know.
Ask your questions.
Okay, so you added the documentation about Bootbox, and I understood that this probably is results of a long discussion a few months ago about booting the when to quickly add additional nodes. So there is no description of it at all. I understand that this is encapsulated what you the way which was used before for the installing the Talos. But if you will provide documentation for what it how it works, probably it will be important also.
Are you talking about boot to Talos tool?
No, in documentation there is some Bootbox module in.
I got it. We need to edit. That was added as new experimental module, and we didn't maintain it very well afterwards. I think we need to refresh it and add the documentation. Thank you for the report. Well, we already out of the time. I would say that the next week, probably in 2 weeks, if somebody will be in KubeCon Atlanta, come to Cozystack booth and let's meet to talk. So see you in KubeCon, and thank you everyone for attending Cozystack community meeting. See you probably in 2 weeks. Not sure if it will not fall on that same date. If so, I will post new announcements. Thank you and bye-bye.
Okay, thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.